How's it going, guys? Coffee here. Today I wanted to go over the strategy that I've been using for running Blight Ravaged maps. I did start doing these just for the challenge, but I noticed I was getting a decent amount of loot out of them, so I figured I'd do a good enough test to actually kind of see how profitable they are, and we can kind of get some map data here, and we'll actually look at that here at the end. After we finish one more last map, which will be a 16th map. First thing that you need to do before running these is you do actually need to get to Ring Enchants. You need a Meteor Towers create Burning Ground for 3 seconds on hit, and you need the Chilling Towers freeze enemies for 0.2 seconds while they're affected by chilling beams. This is basically the requirement to ensure that you get everything fully locked down. And then what this does do is, again, it allows you to basically permanently stun everything, and then your Meteor Towers with the Burning Ground are going to basically burn everything away. Hopefully you have some boss damage yourself, so like I have Headhunter, which obviously helps get the extra kills that I need. When everything's actually fully cleared up and everything's basically done spawning, then you can kind of bump through and get all your buffs and clean things up very nicely to basically speed up the maps. For the Blight maps themselves, I do run these here with the anointments that I do recommend you run here. Is I am running these with Indigo Oils here to spawn 9 additional Blight bosses, which is helping with the basically boss loot, that we are increasing the odds of getting those, like Strangle Grasp, things like that. But I am running it with Teal oils here in order to make the Blights basically complete in half the time. So they complete in 2.5 minutes instead of 5. And then I am running them with Amber oils here. Typically, you don't really actually need to be running them with 3 amber oils. Like 2 is plenty, and then you can run it here with a clear oil to just get a little bit less movement speed as well. Just to slow things down in case you accidentally end up missing something in a wave or something like that. Or you can run it with like the blues here for some lucky boxes, reds or even more lucky boxes. Then you can, or violets or whatever you want to do. So we'll just run it here with 2 ambers and a clear. And then when it comes to actually rolling the mods on the map, you do want to chisel it. You do want to run it with fragments or sack fragments. But when you are rolling for mods, there are a couple mods you need to ensure that you do not end up rolling. And that is basically you need to avoid cannot be stunned, and you need to avoid the one that makes it to where their action speed cannot be lowered below a certain amount, because that will mean that they cannot be fully slowed or fully stopped in order for you to do your map. So let's go ahead and jump in here, and then we'll just kind of look at what a map looks like here and kind of the strategy that you want to do here, which is basically just going to be an empowering tower along with a chilling and a seismic tower, and then you can get a meteor tower in there hopefully as well. So based off of the first path that goes out, you are looking for at least 3 nodes together, preferably 4. This one will have 3, so we're going to build our empowering tower here in the middle to ensure that we encase both of the other towers here. We're going to build a seismic and a chilling tower here, bump these both to level 3, and then we're not even going to build our, we can just build it actually back here. We have the extra pump stuff, so we're going to build a fireball or a meteor tower back here as well. The range of it's going to go to the edge of the circle, so it's going to be fine. And we can go ahead and start the Blight encounter now, because we're just waiting to see if more lanes are going to spawn or what we want to do from here. So when it does come to actually building your lanes and other things, is you do want to ensure that you are not building these more than like 2 screens away from the tower, because if you do, then they just will not actually function properly. So they just will not fire. So we're going to have to build our empowering, 1 seismic, 1 ice here, and then make sure we get these all to level 3. And then we're going to build the meteor tower right here as well. We're actually out of juice here, so we got to give it a second. Here, we got a new lane here. Hopefully we can get enough empowering or something for it. We didn't quite yet, so we're just gonna have to build the seismic and the frost for it here, and basically wait for the empowering tower to kind of help with it over here. And we're just gonna build an extra meteor tower to help with it as well right now. Okay, this is gonna be for the empowering tower here. So you can see this lane over here is basically taking care of itself, and we're gonna build another meteor tower over here. If you stand on the lane waves, you will get attacked, and if you don't, then you will not. So So you can see these do get a little crazy sometimes as things are starting to spawn here. But as long as you build the towers, you can trust the towers to do their job and actually stop everything like they're supposed to. So we're going to get these 3 here. This is where having linear maps is definitely helpful. Or ones where you have like things all filtered to an individual lane can definitely be helpful. So a lot of people will do things like that just to ensure everything's fully covered. But let's go ahead and build another Meteor Tower over here that will help as well. I'm pretty sure everything is stopped, but I'm going to keep I'm going to keep an eye on the lanes here just in case something is sneaking through. We did see something sneak through here, but I don't know which lane it came from here. So having a little bit of boss damage, or having a little bit of damage rather, still does help. But we're just keeping an eye on things here, and then we're going to go ahead and get things cleared up. So this guy is resistant to the physical towers, so we need a frost tower for him. And it does seem like the frost tower that's on this other lane is not actually hitting him. So we're going to have to, hopefully we can get a frost tower built for this lane, but I don't know if we're going to be able to. So we're just going to have to clear it. But luckily we're already done. So everything's already done spawning here. We just need to actually kill everything before this lane actually fully comes through. Which this is the only lane that's basically still doing anything. And with the headhunter buffs, it's actually helping basically just ensure that we're able to wipe things up and clean things up, no problem here. So let's go ahead and do this. We'll clean up the bosses real fast. And then these resistant to physical ones are basically the only lane we have to worry about. Because this lane's being dealt with over here. You can see I never even touched that lane over there. But the burning damage from the Meteor Tower was basically taking care of that. And you can see here, obviously, having this build is very helpful. Even with just like Inspired Learning instead of Headhunter, you would still be able to clean these up the same way. Your buffs are just gonna like last a very similar amount of time, so or just 20 seconds instead of 60. But we shouldn't need the full 60 seconds to clean these up, anyways. So this one is already almost done here. There we go. So these are done. You can see you get quite a bit of different variety of loot here. We're just going to pick up like the tomes. I'm not going to really pick up the flasks or anything like that. I do have the mastery as well for opening up the chests when casting spells. So you can see that's why these did get popped. The sack frags here are like 1 to 2 C per right now. So these are worth picking up. I think enough people were hiding them in their filter that they were actually getting lowered down in... value because, or they were increasing in value because everyone was hiding them in their filters. So I know some people basically hide some of these lower oils. Like if you do a ton of these, they just like hide all the lower oils as well. But I'm not actually going to do that. So let's go ahead and get this all looted here. You can kind of see based off of how long these are taking. These are probably going to take you, like including looting and everything else, you're probably looking at like, 7 minutes or so a map. So like 9-10 of these an hour is probably going to be about what you can expect. I guess if you're not looting things as much, you can probably loot things faster if you're willing to just like leave certain loot on the ground and basically just pick up, more expensive loot and leave a lot of the lower quality stuff on the ground. But you can see in this case, like I'm going to have to check this and I'm going to actually have to leave this and come back in again a second time. Oops. Okay, I didn't actually leave. I thought I did. So let's get these. This helmet, we don't need the wand here. Let's see. Okay. So these are all done. Let me go ahead and leave. We're going to drop this all off in the thing, and then I'm going to pick up that last bit of loot, and then we'll actually go over everything we got. So off of our 18 runs here. So we'll actually take this here, throw everything in. I did start to organize things a little bit. So we can kind of take a little bit of look at that. I started pulling out some of the outlier things. We didn't up convert any of the oils or anything. So we'll just leave it on whatever prices that are mentioned in there. In the Wealthy Exile, we'll be fine. But let's go ahead and do this and make sure I shift control click these into the proper window. Let's go ahead and change zones here, and then let's go into Wealthy Exile and see what we have here. So let's go ahead and sync this here. Let's go ahead and sync this last map here and kind of see what we have. So yeah. All right, so If we do not include the Strangle Grasp, yeah, so out of the things that we did end up getting, out of 16 maps, I did get probably pretty lucky, honestly, to get a Strangle Grasp. Out of the boss drops that I did get a Strangle Grasp and a Breast Stealer here, which is coming. I did get a 25% Karuri Chopper. I did end up going and splitting this. So we'll add this to the cost here. Let me actually make a sheet here with the costs here on this. So with the sheet here, so we have our costs. We were paying, so we did maps. They were 35C each. We bought, so this will be count of these and cost. So we have maps. We have 9 of these. When our total here equals, yeah, there we go. And then we have split beasts. We did end up using these cost 8 each. We bought 10 of them. Let's go ahead and just cycle all these down and we'll get a total afterwards. We did end up using a little bit of oils here. These weren't even 1C per. So I would say for the 18 maps, it would have been like, I don't know, it was like 4C or something. So including the fragments on every single one, if we actually count those as 4C per, we're using like an extra 5C per map. We'll just do oils fragments. This would be 5C, and we did 18 of these. So we'll actually get this as like the totals here, and then yeah. So this will be the total that we'll actually remove from everything at the end. So we put 485C in order to actually get these. I guess you can count the chisels as well. What are chisels at? What 1 to 1.4, I guess, right now. So what is that, like 0.7, something like that? 1.14, yeah, 0.7. 0.7, and we used, well, we chisel them before the split, so times 9, or what is this, 2.8 times 9 here. Keep it simple. All right, so about 510C in, and then let's actually just go back in here. More standout loot here. We did get an actual divine drop. We did get quite a bit of chaos drop here. Let's actually just kind of organize this a bit. Start to pull this out. But yeah, so the main outlier things here that we did see. We did get the Strangle Grasp. We did get, I didn't even look at the price on this bow. I don't think it's much. We did get a single golden oil, a single reflective oil. Reflective oils aren't much. The golden oils are about pretty close to a divine, or slightly less than a divine. We have silver oils, which are 50C a piece. We got 8 opal oils here, which look like they're about 16. And then we have the other oils that we can kind of up convert. But let's just go into Wealthy Exile and let it kind of showcase the cost breakdown on what we're getting here. So we got about 1 divine worth of stacked decks. We did get a single divine as well. And then we have our single, our all silver, our golden, our opal oil. If we remove the Strangle Grasp from this, so we're down to 11 divines here for 16 maps. Let's actually kind of go over this here. So what is this times 170 right now? This would be divided by 16, or well, let's actually subtract the cost here. So 1870 minus 510 divided by 16. We're getting averaging about half a divine per map here. With these basically being ran here at, you know, as we were saying, 6, 7 per. Or basically like upwards of like 9 maximum per hour. It depends how fast your build is. You're kind of basically looking at whatever 765 divine or per hour here, which it's only like 4.5 divines per hour most likely. Obviously, you can get lucky and get big drops as well. But I think accounting for that and saying that, you know, we're making 70 divines an hour or 35 divines an hour using the strategy would be a bit disingenuous. So either way, it's something fun you can do, something different. The profit again isn't anything crazy, but you do have the potential to get some big drops out of it. So yeah, I will send some screenshots here of the actual full stash on this. We didn't get anything major outside of, again, the Strangle Grasp and the single divine, but it definitely paid for itself while doing the challenge. So I'm happy enough with that. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And other than that, see you in the next one.